Hello YouTubers and welcome to Novus Talks with me, your host Novus Govis. And would you believe it, we have more Metroid news to discuss yet again. Some more stuff has come out about Metroid Prime 4, once again through the job listing stuff. And to be honest, this has to be the most unorthodox approach to giving out information about a game ever. Well, obviously it's not designed to give us information, but it's designed to attract employers. But it's the most peculiar way fans have had to get their feed of information about a game, we'll say. But we've a fair bit to discuss, so I'm going to get straight into it. And this came out a couple of days ago, about a week ago. Super Metal Dave 64 covered this, so he's the original source for this information, and he linked all this information, Retro's new job listings, from Nintendo's website, because Retro have got more job listings going. It's never ending. But these ones are very interesting and might give us a clue of what to expect. So I'll have as always, I'll have the information up here on display for you. I'm going to give a summary of it here, but you can see it yourself on the side here. So one of the requirements for what they're looking for now is to be able to create in-game visuals for landscapes. Okay, I mean that's self-explanatory. Sculpting and texturing terrain. Again, that's pretty much self-explanatory, just being able to mold the terrain into what it needs to be, essentially. Create organic assets using ZBrush. I'm not familiar with this software. I saw Super Metal Dave talk briefly about this. It's better to watch his video. He gives a more thorough explanation about the software. Convey visual storytelling. I mean, it's a Metroid game. These games have always relied on, at least with the Metroid Prime games anyway, more so than the 2D games, but Prime games have always relied on what you see being the evidence for what the story is, and being able to scan and determine the history of whatever planet or space station or ship you're on. Ensure artistic style is consistent. I imagine this is a bit like when they were looking for, was the lead environmental artist or something. They wanted, when they were outsourcing, they wanted the artwork to be consistent to what they have in mind. So this comes across as the exact same thing. They want their art style to be consistent with what they've lined up and what they've outsourced. So they want everything to be on the same page so that they don't have to, sort things out if anything goes wrong. Ownership of environmental assets. Yeah, but I don't really have anything to say on that one. There's nothing really I can say. Collaborate for concept art and design. I imagine this is, I'm not sure what the position for this job is actually for. Maybe it says it here in the image you're seeing, but this job anyway, I don't know what it's for, but collaborating for concept art and design suggests to me that this person, whatever their job is, they'll have to make sure their work, as it is mentioned earlier, is consistent, and they'll have to report to, I imagine they'll have internal conversations with the concept artists and the designers to be able to make sure what they're doing matches up, and so that everyone is doing what they're supposed to do and there's no confusion as to what's going on. Competency in terrain composition and layout. Again, that's just being able to, that's pretty much the same as ownership of environmental assets, about accepting responsibility for the design of the terrain and the overall layout of the landscape that we're going to be seeing in the game. This is where it gets interesting, okay? This is the meat of it right now. All of this was just sort of brief stuff to talk about, but this is where the imagination starts going. Strength in creating rocks, cliffs, trees, and foliage. Now, I guess this is the first bit of, and probably the only bit of information we'll get before the game comes out about what Metroid Prime 4's world is going to be like, or worlds, depending on where we are. So we know we're going to be in some sort of forest-like area and cliffs. technically we have been to cliffs before. In Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, we were at the Sanctuary Fortress. Those were high up on the cliffs. However, we didn't explore the actual cliffs. We went into the fortress and explored and went through the entire fortress and explored the actual cliff area. So I don't know if that's what we're going to be doing in Prime 4. But they seem to emphasize all this trees and foliage. So are we going to be like on a... I imagine a scenario with the game starting off like we're landing on a cliff or something, and then there's like forestry and you step up and there's like a huge like waterfall or something like that. I imagine is what they're going for. But we know there's going to be trees, and I don't think there's been a forest area in a Metroid Prime game. Obviously Brinster in Metroid, Super Metroid and Metroid Zero Mission, but that wasn't really an actual forest. And technically we'd Sector 1 in Metroid Other M and in Metroid Fusion, but never an actual forest in a first person game, at least that I can think of. I'm pretty sure we haven't anyway. Technically there was the Fire Forest place in Metroid Prime 3, but that doesn't really count. But again, here's where things are interesting. Strong sense of realistic proportions. Now, realism, I'm not sure if I have it down here, but they do emphasize realism. And that's what stands out to me. So they want this game to have realistic proportions, which means they're going for a very high quality graphical design here. So I imagine realistic looking trees and cliffs. The thing is, like, realistic could mean any number of things, because to Nintendo, the graphics of Zelda Breath of the Wild are realistic. Now, they're beautiful, but they're not realistic, we'll say. So, I don't know if that's the same thing here, or if they're actually going for a strong, realistic design. Now, upon saying that, I was reminded of Halo and the fact that the environmental designer from Halo 4 and Halo 5 is working on this game. So, realistic proportions makes me think toward that. So, we could be getting a very high graphic, realistic, gritty looking Metroid Prime game, which is... This is like raising my expectations exponentially, because suddenly, like, the Metroid Prime games have had great graphics, but they haven't been like realistic. In fact, as the games went on, they kind of got less realistic. But, you know, to get something truly realistic, it's going to be outstanding. And I have any doubts about this game that I have are going away with each day, and I'm suddenly getting more and more anticipation. And I'm expecting something incredibly realistic and completely out there. But we'll have to see how it is. But that's where my expectations are at the moment. Even if they do Breath of the Wild graphics, which they won't, but it would still look great. It doesn't say anything about the character models though. Even if the area design, the terrain looks realistic, what about Samus herself, or what about the Galactic Federation or Psylocke? How are they gonna look, especially in relation to the environment? So I'm sure we'll probably get more stuff like this in some sort of character modeling job listing later on, probably. Which kind of leads me to the next point. Familiarity. I can't say that word for some reason. Familiarity with current modeling and texture workflows. That to me, since it says current modeling, I don't know if that means current as in up to date and modern modeling and realistic, or current as in with the graphical design and artwork that's been established with Metroid Prime 4. I guess that could mean both, maybe. Yeah, current modeling and texture flows, perhaps that the person who will have this job will be able to match their work with the character modeling and design of the work of all the other artists and stuff that are on board with the game. Strong visual and storytelling skills, again. Yeah, this one's self-explanatory. It's a Metroid game. The environment and the world kind of has to convey a certain feeling and a certain sense of emotion to you in regards to what's going on. So yeah, same as the point earlier. Knowledge of PBDR pipelines. That's software again, I have no absolute clue about. Experience with world editors. I said that right. World editors. Again, this is I saw this on Super Metal Dave's video and he explained a lot about this. And the next point, experience with world machine. This is just a very quick way to create big and broad and realistic enough terrain and background. So tying that in with some of the earlier points, it all seems very interesting. But that's the last point I have actually. So now that we've covered the points, it's time to go into the actual discussion of it. I am really hyped. When I saw this on Super Metal Dave's video, I was ecstatic. I want to say I was nearly emotional almost, you know, it did kind of evoke a feeling in me, because knowing that not only is this game about a year and a half away at least, but it's going to be very realistic. So in all honesty, Retro are trying extremely hard to give us the Metroid game we have been wanting for so many years now. And when we get a trailer for this game, or when we ever see something of this game, it is going to be like a really powerful day for us, because it's going to be like how Zelda fans reacted to Breath of the Wild, where they were like shook to their very core. That's how we are going to be when we see this game. We know we're getting a high quality game that's going to exceed expectations tenfold. We're going to get something absolutely incredible, and I don't know what to expect anymore. Trees, I have an image in my head of a very realistic cliff face and stuff like that, but it's very hard to imagine what it's going to be like. But Rule of Two Review, who I watch, he's a great YouTuber in terms of discussion, especially for Metroid. He did a video before showcasing, well, it wasn't his video, he was discussing on a video that was a fan-made video about what Metroid Prime would look in 4K HD or something like that. Looked absolutely, in the Unreal Engine, and it looked absolutely incredible. And I have that in mind. That video is what I have in mind with this and these cliffs. We know, or we've heard rumors that this game is made on the, I believe it was the Cry engine. I'd have to go back and look at one of my older videos to actually confirm that, but I think it was the Cry engine is what was rumored. No confirmation there, but yeah. So it's interesting times lie ahead, and I wonder how frequently are we going to get information now? Well, technically we're not getting any real information. We're just picking apart all these job listings that Retro have so kindly put out for us, and it's very exciting. And I honestly feel like this game is a lot closer now than it ever has been, and it's really exciting to me. It's really evoking the inner emotion, the inner hype that I have for this game. 7 years I've been a Metroid fan, so 7 years I've been waiting for a game that for 4 of those years was just a rumor, and the last few years has become something real and something in the near future. And yeah, every day we're a day closer to playing Metroid Prime 4, so it's incredible. But yeah, that's it for the moment. I'm sure it'll be another couple of weeks before I talk about Metroid Prime 4 again, which I'm glad that I'm talking about it way more frequently now. It's I never thought that we'd ever get to this point, but here we are, and it's exciting, as I said. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section down below. What do you think of this information? Are you hyped? What do you think of the realistic proportions of it all? How do you think the game's going to look? What do you think the world layout is going to be, and how do you think the character models and stuff will be? Yeah, let me know all your thoughts down in the comment section below. No doubt this will definitely not be my last Metroid Prime video. It will definitely not be my last Metroid Prime video in the next couple of weeks probably, but yeah, exciting times. So yeah, thank you all for watching, and please subscribe. Novus Corvus out.